Hey everyone, I'm Christine Barba, and I decided to start this channel after I shared my story last year with one of my idols, Dan Buglio. Love him. About that time that I felt like my head was gonna fall off. About that time where I overcame 5 years of pretty intense chronic pain in the throat, and then it was also in my face and anywhere else you could imagine, which wasn't fun. But after I shared that video, a lot of really cool people started reaching out to me, and I would listen to their stories and things they would tell me and think like, oh my God, we have the same brain. And probably if we lived in the same location, we would be really good friends. And so I would ramble on a lot about just my own thoughts about their experience and my experiences. And I thought, why not maybe consolidate all of that rambling into this channel? So hopefully it's helpful. I 100% believe that anyone can recover from chronic pain and symptoms, and also like repetitive thought loops. I really believe that a lot of this stuff and neuroplastic pain, and it's caused by, at least in my case, it was caused by like a pretty repetitive thought loop in the brain. That is not our fault. But when we're in it, it's really hard to see that. And our loved ones or people around us might wonder like, oh yeah, why is this person suddenly going on this like grand tour of doctors or looking up Facebook groups related to like all different symptoms all day, or you know, just talking about this subject all the time or their pain. And again, like none of that is our fault, but it's so hard to see when you're in it. And so I wanted to create this channel just to kind of help people maybe think of different ways that they can start to recover. And also I think just when we're going through this, it's hard because if, you know, other people around you have not gone through it, it can feel pretty scary or isolating. And it's like, what is going on? Like, how did I end up? Like, it feels like you're suddenly thrown into this other dimension where your brain just can't stop thinking about symptoms in the body. And that's not super fun, because you should be doing fun things, which you will be, like traveling the world or starting a new fun project or a new fun hobby or like going out roller skating. I don't know. Whatever you enjoy. Okay, and so shout out to some of my idols and heroes, obsessed, who helped me kind of see like what might be going on in this noggin of mine. And yeah, helped me get to the point I'm at now, which is like nice to be doing quite well, which you will be as well if you're feeling right now like your head is gonna fall off, like I said. So yeah, definitely like some of my friends who are going through this themselves, and it planted that initial seed of like, hey Christine, this is what might be going on with you, huh? But then I went through more years of just like really being in the loop, like traveling the world on a journey to get help, which it's funny to look back at now, but wasn't always so funny then. So yeah, them, like I said, Dan Buglio, love him. Dr. Joe Dispenza, obsessed, like he's amazing. Both of them are. Amanda Ashley from the Lightning program, who was an instrumental part of my journey, and she's fantastic. She also has a very cool British accent that I'm jealous of, and I could listen to that all day. Also Dr. Schubner, who, despite that I wasn't even his patient, answered like many a panicked email from me. My emails used to look like books, which when you're in this loop, that's what starts to happen. You send people textbooks about what's going on with you, and the text messages get really long, and yeah. So thank you, Dr. Schubner. I will always respect and admire you for that. Like, so cool. And he even answered my mom's emails. So nice. Yeah, Dan and Amanda are like that too. Like, they just, you know, people where it's genuinely their passion and you can see it and they really care. And that's like how I want to be, because I know what it's like to go through it. And yeah, it's nice to help people. Definitely the initial psychiatrist, who, when I pretty much was at like, it was 5 years into the journey, I was like rock bottom city at that point. So shout out to the psychiatrist too, who was like, hey Christine, I think you have sensory motor OCD. And I was like, yeah, like I kind of think that too. But then this condition is such a like debacle that sometimes this condition will make you doubt that you have it, which is so fascinating. I could do a whole talk on that. But I was like, yeah, like I think I do too. And when you've been in it for 5 years, you're kind of like, huh. But he's amazing. He really finally hit the nail on the head. I had seen like 50 people, which yikes. Yeah, so he's incredible. And then he directed me to an incredible place where I could go each week. But this psychologist is so awesome and helped me feel sane and normal, and like because I thought I was going crazy, which TBD, but no, he helped me really see that when you're going through this, you're not crazy. You're just dealing with OCD usually, or however you want to look at it, you know. I know TMS we could say, but for me, OCD, like that stuck, really helped. And he worked with me on so many things that I had like, I either had been doing, but doing while feeling miserable and like really sick, or that I had started to like avoid doing, which we'll go through that list at some point. And that was instrumental to me. And so, yeah, and then there's this great channel I love called OCD Recovery, and two of the main guys behind that, like, I love watching their videos because they also do a fantastic job just reminding people that they can get better from any of this stuff, which is true. And one of the reasons I love Dr. Joe is because I think a big part of this thought loop, when we're in it, it almost becomes a new obsession to be like, is it TMS and mind body, or is it a structural issue? And then it becomes a new obsession to go back and forth. It's like obsessions upon obsessions, which is interesting. More on that another time. But what I love about his work is it's a good reminder that, and you know, the people in the TMS world say this too, that like even after an injury, the body wants to heal. And I think Dr. Joe's work too is a nice reminder of just addressing that core fear thought. I know it can be helpful to say like, this is mind body or this is not, like that. Having that strong belief is very useful to people. But if you're like me and you're still going back and forth for a while, I think what was helpful was just looking at his work and being like, even if I have this structural issue or I have something else or this, like the body wants to heal. There's a solution for everything, I believe. When you're in this loop, it's a little bit hard to slow down and to see that, because we want to go to like 50 million more people for opinions and advice, to no fault of our own. But I think of like, he loves that one example of the woman who essentially like grew back her thyroid, which is amazing. It shows the power of our body and mind, and that, you know, it wants to be in alignment, meaning like even physical alignment. And there's a solution for that too. So just like, I like to address that core fear thought. I know it might not always be great to talk about because it's helpful when people are in this loop to have them see how much of this is coming from that thought loop and obsessive thought loop, which, like, yes, of course. But it is helpful to just, I think, comfort people with that other train of thought, which is just like, okay, even if ... you know, getting at some of the like OCD core fear thoughts, there's probably a solution out there for it. And we don't have to obsess and, like, you know, go crazy over it. But I understand why we're doing that when we're in it, because it's brutal. It could be rough. And it's funny, I started to come to all of these revelations when my head did not feel like it was falling off. And obviously with the proper, like, support and help and reassurance, and that was crucial, and I'm so grateful for that. Would have been nice to come to those revelations like 5 years ago, but I'm really grateful that my journey took like quite a bit of time, because hopefully, having gone through this, and if other people are having like a long journey, I just want them to know you can get better after any amount of time. Like, it doesn't matter. And I know Dan Bublio and a lot of those wonderful people in that world that they say that too, and it's absolutely true. Okay, so in conclusion, it's funny, I taught college English classes and would always say, like, not to use that phrase, and here I am doing it. But anyways, the point is, you're gonna get better. You're gonna get better. You're gonna feel better. One of my really good friends who had gone through this stuff himself, and like, I remember years ago him sending me a video where he was singing that to me, and it's a nice reminder that, you know, anything you're going through right now, and I know when we're in it, it is so intense, and the suffering, like, it's hard to describe to people. It's bad, and it's often invisible, so you feel like, wow, the people around me, maybe they don't see how intense this is. But anyways, the point is, I am 100% confident that anyone can overcome whatever it is you're going through, wherever the, like, pain is, or even the symptom, or the emotions that you might be experiencing because of, like, the thoughts, which could be like intense anger or anxiety or frustration or terror, usually fear. All of that will go away, and you're gonna feel better. It just, if you're anything like me, like, it takes time. I don't think it has to, but for me, like, it definitely was a gradual process, because you know, there's at least in my case, there are so many years of thoughts you have to work to shift, and it was very hard work, but it's so worth it. You'll feel really grateful after, and things will get a lot better. Like, they will. Even if you're doubting it right now, when you're in it, like, things will get better. So that's all of my thoughts for today. Please like and comment if you have any thoughts below. I know I'm supposed to say that. If you'd like to subscribe, that would be kind of cool. Like, it's kind of fun to see that you're getting, you know, people subscribing. But yeah, hopefully this content may help someone. That's the goal. So, all right, everyone, have a very good evening, at least where I am. I'm currently here in New Jersey. But yeah, if you're anywhere else in the world, have a wonderful day or night or morning. All right, bye everyone.